Cody here, and welcome to today's episode of Breakfast with Cody Gall. And yes, sir, I'm out of eggs. Whoops. The show must go on, so biscuits it is. And I've, of course, got my fresh squeezed orange juice. I don't know why anybody would drink orange juice that's pre-made when you can just buy oranges and squeeze it yourself, because it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you today about a random thing. Just wanted to get personal with you and talk about the kind of music that I listen to these days. The music that I've listened to in my life has been quite a journey that I've gone on. But here in the last, few years, there's a particular genre of music that I listen to. But before I get to that, I do want to admit, I do listen to quite a bit of pop country. And the reason why is not because I particularly like it. It's just because I only listen to pop country when I'm driving in the car. Because when I'm driving in the car, I've got two options. I can either mess with the Bluetooth and the iPad and stuff, or I can just turn the radio on. And if I'm driving 5-10 minutes, I'm going to spend half the friggin' time messing with the Bluetooth. So I just turn the radio on. And so all the pop country I listen to is on the radio. Although I will admit, there's some pop country that I really do like. I like that Broken Halo song. I like the I might have a little mud on my boots. That's a good song. The song where the guy's like, you pick the paint and I'll name the dogs. That's just such a heartwarming song. I like pop country enough to listen to it on the radio. Nothing else. I don't listen to anything on the radio. And listen here in Nashville, I'm actually sometimes disgusted by what you consider to be country on the pop country. Plus the personalities on those radio stations. Just I don't ever listen to when the people start talking. Goodbye. Because they're just these fake country people that are just so fake, and it drives me crazy. But the real music that I listen to when I'm hanging out with my friends, when I'm by myself, when I'm cleaning up, doing chores, when I'm going on a long road trip, and the music that I really like, I've come to realize that there's a particular genre that I like, and I call it reformed country. And what I mean by that is people who are doing country music now, but who have not always done country music. People who kind of grew up in the country, who have country roots-ish, then became not country in some form or fashion, and then went back to their roots and went back to being country. That kind of is who I am as a person, to be honest with you. And that's why I just am drawn to other people who have that same experience. And so I just wanted to tell you about some of the ones I like the most, as well as ask you if you can give me any direction in any other reformed country, because it's a particular sound, that reformed country sound, that I just really like. And the master, the king of reformed country, is the man, the myth, the legend, Aaron Lewis. Aaron Lewis, if I had to pick who is my favorite musician currently, it is without doubt Aaron Lewis. But I have to admit, slowly but surely, I'm getting to the point where I might go out on a limb and say, Aaron Lewis is my favorite musician of all time. And not because of Stained. He was previously the lead singer of Stained. No, it's because of Aaron Lewis and his modern contribution to music. It is just so good. So good. So good. I mean, 10 out of 10. Aaron Lewis is amazing. And Aaron Lewis, I've seen interviews with him where he says similar things to the lead singer of Creed, who is musically very different. I like Creed, but They're two very different people, but they made similar comments in interviews I've seen where they basically talked about how their sort of depressing music from the past came from real depression. And it was very popular, but it was also very real. And then they got money, and unlike most idiots when they get money, they started eating right, they started exercising, they got cleaned up off of drugs and alcohol, and they got married and had kids. And spoiler alert, that made them happy, and they were no longer able to write depressing music. And so all these corporate guys were like, we don't care if you're happy. We need you to pretend to be depressed. And people like Aaron Lewis and Creed, they were just like, look, screw you, man. I'm not doing that. Although the guy from Creed, he's got an interesting story. It's not entirely happy. But Aaron Lewis's story is very happy, and I respect that a lot. That he was offered all this money and all this fame and fortune to pretend to be depressed. And he said, no, I'd rather go be a country boy. Yes. Then there's Darius Rucker, whose music back in the day was not depressing. It was just straight up college rock, pop, like Hootie and the Blowfish. And I guess Darius decided it wasn't really who he really was. And he has gone country. And kudos to him, man. He writes some good music. He writes some good music. I like him a lot. Then there's the lovely Jewel. Oh, Jewel. Oh. When I was in high school, all those pop sluts, they just didn't do it for me. Spice Girls, Britney, Christina, ugh. No. Jewel, man. Oh. My God. These foolish games are tearing us apart. Oh. That was a good song. But then the pop slut hooks came out of corporate America, and the next thing you know, Avril Lavigne and Gwen Stefani and Jewel are slutting it up. But then Jewel said, slammed on the brakes and said, this isn't for me. And much respect for her. Because as much of a temptation as it might have been to Aaron Lewis to pretend to be depressed, these poor girls, when they get popular, corporate America says, all right, time to put on the thong. That's how it works. You're young and you're pretty. Doesn't matter what kind of music you make. Here's your thong. This is your standard uniform. And you don't want to do it? Oh, well, you're a racist, sexist, or whatever, and you're turning away millions and millions of dollars. We're going to destroy you if you don't put this thong on. And we're going to make you multimillionaire if you do put the thong on. And it's like, I guess it's got to be really hard to deal with that. And Jewel dealt with it like a princess. And now she's writing songs about her father and stuff. I mean, just 2 thumbs up. Love Jewel's music these days. And then there's Kid Rock and Uncle Kracker. Now, those guys probably had the most resistance to what they did because they come from the world of rap. Sort of. I mean, Kid Rock was definitely rap back in the day. But when he became popular with that Limp Bizkit kind of rock rap thing. But still, he was very influenced by the hip-hop industry. And then to go from that to country. And same thing with Uncle Kracker, but with less resistance, I'm sure. Uncle Kracker was probably more free to do whatever he wanted to do. But Kid Rock, I'm sure, when he started telling his people behind the scenes, I'm going country, they were probably like, no, you're not. And he said, yeah, I am. And so, Kid Rock, man, I love his music that he's putting out these days. And I can say, of all the people I've talked about, the one with the most difference between back in the day and today is Kid Rock. Because I can't stand some of his music from back in the day. It's trash. Personally, I think it's just dumb. But the music he's putting out these days is truly awesome, and I love Kid Rock. So I just want to share that with you guys and ask you if you knew of any other reformed country I might like. Put it in the comments. Thank you for watching.